Let's discuss the batteries, which are the main issue with electric vehicles. This particular element has always been the obstacle to EV adoption. Initially, they were too expensive to be used in the creation of an affordable electric automobile that wasn't terrible. However, despite the fact that the cost of lithium-ion batteries has significantly decreased, the industry is still being held back by a lack of supply. As a result, people who want and can afford electric cars are unable to purchase them because no one, not even Tesla, can produce them quickly enough to meet demand for new cars. This is a frustrating situation. Since it is now difficult to mine and hard to obtain, nickel in particular is a major bottleneck in the battery supply chain. Additionally, Russian nickel supply and Rivian Motors have a significant impact on the global market. CEO R.J. Scuringe recently stated that the battery shortage might endure for 10 years or more and that it will affect the electric car sector more severely than the chip shortage did. It's a dire forecast, to be sure, but if the industry keeps moving in the same direction it is today without coming up with new ideas for battery manufacture and materials, R.J. might not be too far off the mark. As the corporation enters a time of expanding up, Tesla is undoubtedly already giving this matter serious thought. Tesla will require an extreme supply of batteries to support its promise to grow to extreme sizes, and in order to do this, it cannot put all of its eggs in one basket, or in this case, one type of battery chemistry. Tesla is therefore taking some crucial efforts to diversify its battery portfolio, using both tried-and-true formulae and some innovative new approaches that may be highly profitable in the long term. Let's get started as we're about to discuss battery designs that could stop the EV revolution. We've all heard the term diversification, and Tesla expressly mentioned it in a shareholder letter in their first financial report for 2022. In order to better optimize our products for their various use cases and widen our supplier base, diversification of battery chemistries is essential for long-term capacity growth. For this reason, nearly half of the Tesla vehicles produced in Q1 were outfitted with a lithium iron phosphate battery that contained no nickel or cobalt. The majority of our solutions for standard range vehicles currently use LFP batteries, which are also used in applications for commercial energy storage. This means that Tesla is now experimenting with two different battery chemistries, one of which being their tried-and-true nickel-cobalt-manganese formula used in their 2170 and 1865 cells. The Model S and X are powered by the 1865, whereas the Model 3 and Y long range and performance are powered by the 2170. Tesla vehicles may outperform the competition in terms of acceleration and range thanks to these incredible batteries because they have a wonderful combination of energy density and power output. Due to the inclusion of exotic metals in the composition, they are also quite pricey. The new Model 3 rear-wheel drive, which is sold worldwide, and the Model Y Standard, which is only sold in China, are powered by an iron-based cell, which makes up the other half. Due to the fact that the cathode in these cells is made of the same iron that is used to create pots and pans, they are quite affordable in comparison. The Model 3 rear-wheel drive, with a range of around 270 miles, give or take depending on the wheel choice, accounts for nearly half of all Tesla sales in the first quarter of 2022, we can infer from this. It's crucial to keep in mind Tesla's Vice President of Engineering, Drew Baglino, followed up with this very interesting comment about the shift of American-made Model 3s to LFP chemistry, saying, "Last quarter, half of our items were LFP, which demonstrates how rapidly we were able to react. But in all honesty, it wasn't due to a lack of basic materials. Simply said, it seemed to be the proper move to make. We could alter the chemistry of the cathode. There is still work to be done on the cathode side, which we are actively pursuing to provide us the option to substitute alternative cathodes that are available and capable of competing in our vehicle as needed in response to market conditions. There are numerous choices. I believe this to be a very important quote that we should remember moving ahead. He claims that the business was able to switch battery chemistries relatively fast, and they did so voluntarily because it was the proper thing to do at the time rather than under pressure. He then implies that Tesla would change their cathode chemistry again if a better option was to come along, and that they are actively looking into these options so that they are using the best chemistry for their product at any given time. This change occurred several months prior to the current nickel crisis. This is quite clever. The majority of Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers are following a very similar plan and have already switched to LFP batteries. Even top-tier Chinese businesses like BID and NIO are developing original versions of conventional LFP battery packs. BID have created a brand new cell format they refer to as the Blade. NIO has actually introduced a hybrid battery pack that combines NCM and LFP cells to give them the best of both worlds, while the majority of the auto industry that isn't Tesla or Chinese is still just yo-yoing into nickel chemistry. These long, thin rectangle cells kind of resemble the blade from one of those ridiculous anime swords. When the price has reached an all-time high and shows no signs of decreasing, Elon reaffirmed that for the foreseeable future Tesla, along with the rest of the industry, will focus on nickel-based chemistries for longer-range vehicles and iron phosphate for shorter-range views, but he did add a brief but exciting comment about a manganese-based battery system because this is an option that Elon Musk himself has mentioned a few times in the recent past, so we know it's on his mind. Elon noted that it is relatively simple to create a cathode that is 2/3 nickel and 1/3 manganese, allowing us to produce 50 more cell volumes with the same amount of nickel. Referring back to 2022, at the Berlin event, Elon emphasized the importance of using sustainable materials for batteries because at very large scales, we will need tens or hundreds of millions of tons of them. Nissan employed a high manganese cathode in the original battery for the Leaf, which, previous to the Model 3, was the best-selling electric car in the world for many years. Tesla has also used manganese-rich cathode cells for the Powerwall home battery. A high manganese cell from Volkswagen has also been included in their battery roadmap, which was first unveiled last year. This is a highly promising notion that may be a good compromise between conventional lithium-ion and LFP cells. The world of speculative battery chemistries is another area where several research groups have published papers with promising results on manganese-rich cathode batteries that could offer interesting features as they boast higher energy density than iron phosphate batteries and a potentially lower price than nickel-rich batteries. Although they have not yet been tested in practical applications, these theories have the potential to revolutionize the electric vehicle industry and are ones that scientists are fairly confident could work. Solid-state batteries are a fantastic illustration of this. In principle, solid-state is the solution to all of our issues with regard to electric vehicles. These cells would be inexpensive and simple to produce, exceedingly quick charging and completely impervious to catching fire when damaged. But decades after the solid-state concept was first proposed, we still have no working device to speak of. It's still simply a really excellent idea. Nissan is the most recent business to declare that it has nearly cracked the solid-state code. In April, Nissan said that it was in the prototyping stage for all solid-state batteries with a goal of pilot-producing cells in 2024 to power a line of Nissan EVs in 2028. They joined Toyota, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, Honda, and other manufacturers who were the first to switch to solid-state to save their inferior electric vehicles. Toyota and Volkswagen both hope to start their own solid-state pilot plants in 2025 or 2026. There are some highly speculative battery chemistries out there, such as aluminum air, which produce electricity simply from the reaction of the air with aluminum in some manner that I couldn't even begin to explain to you, but this particular cell may have given Nissan a lead because they moved battery development in-house, taking a page from Tesla's vertical integration philosophy. There is also a plan to use graphene as a battery material in the future. Graphene is one of those man-made futuristic wonder materials that conducts electricity better than copper, is 200 times stronger than steel, while also being 6 times lighter and almost transparent at T. However, the aluminum in the cathode has a tendency to be corroded by the electrolyte in the cell, so the batteries do not have a very long working life. Or possibly advanced battery chemistry that is kept secret? Please share your theories in the section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it.